What's up, guys? BBate sent over their 14-inch Windows 11 laptop for me to check out, mess with. I've been using it for a little bit, and these are my overall thoughts after playing around with it, just so you guys can, choose if this is the right purchase for you or not. Let's get right into it. It also comes with this little silicone keyboard cover. You guys have probably seen these. You just put it over the keys and it gives you like a little rubber texture to type on, and it also helps keep them clean. Also comes with a very basic little mouse, which is cool. So if you don't have a mouse, there you go. And it has a USB dongle in the bottom of it, so you guys are able to just plug it right into the laptop and you're good to go. Little charging cable. It's a fairly long cable, which is legit, and it has that type of port, like a DC plug, so it goes right into the side. So here's the actual laptop itself. Like I said, it's 14 inches, not too big, but it feels really solid for what it is. Has the logo on the corner right there. It's kind of hard to see, but there it is. On the back, we've got some rubber pads on all corners just to keep this thing from sliding around. And this one has 256 gigabytes. It's an SSD. That is what this little thing right here is. So if you do want to improve the storage later on, you can just pop that off and change the SSD that is in there. If you want to add more storage, it's got some vents, so breathes a lot easier. Now on to how this thing actually runs. I have the 6 gigabyte version, and it has a Celeron in 4020, which just fancy. That's just like the processor that's in it, which I've heard is not the best. It's usually pretty slow when it comes to bigger things, just because it's only got 2 pins. I haven't seen that in action with this. It's not the fastest when it comes to bigger softwares and stuff. So like, for example, I have CapCut on here, and I'll try loading up CapCut. And as you can see, it's just loading right now. It's taking its sweet time. And there you go. Now it's starting to open finally. So CapCut is obviously a bit more of an advanced software. It does take a minute. Right now it's running some checks just to make sure it's able to run on the laptop. There we go. Finally opened up the actual editor. Like I said, though, it's pretty slow when it comes to opening up CapCut. CapCut is obviously a more advanced software. You're going to be editing videos on this. I know a lot of people use CapCut though, so I thought I would mess around with it. And I mean, it still works when you open up an actual project. It's going to obviously look like the regular desktop editor. It's taken a pretty decent amount of time to open CapCut, which is not amazing. Again, though, this is only the 6 gigabyte version. So if you are going to be getting something to run heavier softwares, so like video editing, stuff like that, I would definitely go with the higher gigabytes of RAM. I believe they have a 16 gigabyte of RAM version. So if you're going to be doing heavier stuff, I'd obviously go with that, because that means you're going to be able to do more things at once, and it should be able to process it a lot better. But it does work. Again, though, it's just going to be a little slower, and it might not be as smooth when you're editing, but CapCut works on here. So, if you guys are wondering that, there you go. Again, though, with only 6 gigabytes of RAM, you're not able to have a bunch of heavy things open at once on this, because it's just going to lag like crazy. The screen itself, like I said, is 14 inches big, and it is 1920 by 1080. So it's just an HD screen, but it actually looks really good. I think it's a matte screen as well, as you can see. So like when light hits it, it doesn't look super reflective, and it doesn't change much. Like it might just get darker, but you can still see the image that you're looking at, which I think is really cool. I can't stand it when laptops, you have to have it at a certain angle for the colors to look good. This seems to be pretty solid from all viewing points. When it comes to the ports on this thing, on the left side, we have a USB 3.0 port, that DC port, so we can plug in the power brick and charge it. And then right next to that, we have a mini HDMI port if you want to project this onto a TV or something like that. And then on the right side, we have another USB 3.0 port, a headphone jack, and then a little micro SD card slot, which is pretty legit. So they kind of cover all the bases. It's pretty flexible, as you can see. You can open up pretty wide, almost fully flat, and then obviously it closes. It just has a nice amount of weight to it. I mean, it feels really solid for what it is. The keyboard is really nice to type on. You've got a very nice Windows keyboard, your shortcuts, all that. I mean, it looks really nice, and it works really well. I do like typing on this thing. It feels really good on your hands. I mean, for the price, the trackpad is also really smooth and very responsive. So pretty impressed with the overall quality of this little laptop. Do a quick speaker test so you guys can see how the speakers sound on this thing, because they actually get fairly loud. Nothing too special by any means, but definitely good enough if you guys are just going to watch some videos on here, YouTube videos. I mean, it'll get the job done for sure. Doesn't sound terrible at all. Tells you how much time you have left on the battery. I haven't charged this once since I've got it, and it's still only at 26%. It says I have about an hour left, which is really solid. I mean, I haven't been using this a ton, but the fact that it's not even dead yet and I have used it for at least a couple hours is really, really solid. So overall, in my opinion, if you're going to be using this for more basic chill stuff like answering your emails, browsing on the internet, social media, stuff like that, this will definitely work great for you, especially if you just need like a laptop to do stuff on. I know a lot of people get this for their kids for school, so that definitely will get the job done, like Zoom calls and stuff like that. Now, if you're trying to do more extensive stuff like video editing, graphic design, stuff that requires a lot more power, definitely pick up one that has more RAM, because the 6 GB is not going to get you very far, especially if you're in like Canva, for example. I love to do a lot of my graphic design on Canva. This thing is not super smooth because it just can't handle what it's being asked to do. But for basic stuff like looking online, watching YouTube videos, shopping, stuff like that, this thing works really well. I love the keyboard. So if you guys are looking for a basic little laptop to get stuff done, definitely check this one out.